Okay, I use this very large step ladder so I can get up higher. I've got my hood propped up with the service ports on the hood to hold the hood almost straight up like a sail. And at the top I've got my engine lift crane. I'm going to call it Tom or Ton, T-O-N. I'll just name it Tom. Anyway, it helped position the hood up, and I rolled it back to get the chain loose, but I can't reach the chain, so that's why there's a ladder. Anyway, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to take that hook loose, I'm going to back it off, and I'm going to attach it to the engine. Okay, it's up off the motor mount, you can probably see that. And got to watch that line back there. AC compressor, it's got plenty of room to come forward. It might be my nemesis, I don't know. I use that pry bar there to push that fuel rail back a little bit. It wanted to ride up a little with the cranking of the lift. So I'm going to pull the lift forward now and see if I can get it off the dowel pins. I'm going to go underneath first and see what it looks like. I moved my hoist hook over to the hole right here and was able to get a tilt on it like this. Meanwhile, underneath I wanted to make sure my transmission was supported good, and I believe it is. I just got through yanking on it, and by being in that hole right here, it came loose. You can see it's off the dowel pins, and then it moved over. So now I went back to the center hole. I'm going to see if I can raise it up and get it out of here. I want to make sure that the torque converter doesn't come flying out the back. The thing is, I'm trying to figure out where the weight was on this. It looks like it's at the front. I was wondering if I should have, I don't know. Anyway, it's leaking antifreeze everywhere because it's in the block coming out, so we'll find out. I want to look for wires that are attached. I know there's still 2 of them. I don't think there's any on that other side. Torque converter. Neighbor's got an i6 that needs a tune. That's what you're hearing. Anyway, or muffler. That needs a tune. I moved the torque converter back after I broke it. After I took the bolts loose from the flywheel to make sure it didn't stay forward, and it stayed back all the time. Transmission jack supporting it real well, and there's a better picture. You can see how far away I am now. Trying to go up and out with it, but we'll see. The engine wants to turn on me when I'm rolling it up, so I can just put my bar here. And I can get to this part right here, which is a block heater. And I get that loose. So I got the AC compressor off just now. There's 2 bolts holding it on. I just couldn't see them, that's all. Everything was dark in there. The engine wants to turn sideways, and I might just let it go this way and see if it'll come out sideways. I had one other line that wanted to come up with the engine, and I do believe it's probably part of the starter. That's what I'm guessing, because it runs along that line right there, and the starter goes in on this side, so that's my guess. She's loose now, and it's coming up nicely, going sideways, believe it or not. Here's some of the bottom of the engine. A little block of wood's always nice. I kept that under the motor mount in case I wanted to lower it back down a little, and I did a few times. Reposition the crane there, hook. Alright, it came out sideways, just no problems whatsoever. And plenty of room to clear the front rail here. Probably would have come out front ways too. Be better if you take this off, you go to the front, and then this is going to get in your way as well. That don't sound good. I'll be getting another one of those. Okay, there's some of the carnage on the side of the oil pan, and I'll show you a little bit more when I get it out of here, but there's some more right there, and right up there. I actually drove it in like this to the driveway here where we're pulling this engine. Okay, here's the hole. This will get all cleaned up. And get ready for the other one to come in a bit, because I gotta put some more parts in the other one. Alright. Should look a lot better next time I go in with the other one. Alright, here we go again. Got the hood propped up to its service position on both sides. And got my lift over here. Got my engine stand. And it slid right in between there. Really kind of nice. So I'm going to think about kind of have to turn it around. That's what I'm going to have to do. And then see if I can get that engine off the stand. Alright, I got my wife Connie, who's in her 70s, helping me because my mechanic friend Tom never called me back. So we're just going to put it in ourselves, hopefully. It's not that I don't have the mechanical experience, it's just that my age and strength ain't what they used to be when I was in my 30s and 40s, so. We got to get this high enough to clear, then we got to push it forward. Oh my God, we got to go a long ways forward. Okay. Well, it's close. Working on the dowel pins. I really can't show you much from here. And I'm working on lining the motor mounts up, but what I've actually got to do is lower it about an inch and then push it back. And I should have it. Watching all the electrical lines, of course, and the fuel lines, especially those. Anyway, everything looking good up front. I'll take a little break, take an Advil for my knees, and then we're going to get back on this. I reverted to using the Harbor Freight load leveler, and it did a wonderful job after I found some silly ass bolts to bolt the chain with. It'd been nice if they'd have sent those too. I got my dowels in. I got a little bit of gap on the right side of the engine with the transmission, maybe 1/8 of an inch, but I believe that's because I have the transmission jack underneath. But all my motor mount holes are perfect alignment. And I'm going to go ahead and put those in, and then maybe let a little tension off of the jack. I don't know, maybe you can see the mount holes there. Down on this side. Okay, here's the gap on the transmission on the right side, just a little bit there. Might be because I got the tension on the tranny with the transmission jack. Then you can see the motor mount holes, their alignment. I'll put a few bolts on each side. And this load lever, Pittsburgh Harbor Freight, did a great job. If they'd included the little bolts for the chain would have been nice, but they didn't. So there it is. It's sitting in there now. The whole process has to be bolted back together. I'm going to put the transmission bolts in later. For right now, I'm just going to put a couple motor mount bolts in it and make sure my transmission gaps are both nice and tight before I start putting the transmission bolts in. Alrighty, I got the transmission all pulled up. I got 3 bolts in on the other side. I don't have them down to torque yet. Got the bolts on the bottom, and I'm working on these right now. This one here is really hard to get to. This one here, not so much. This dipstick tube is in the way, but it can be moved out a little bit. You got a little room through here. You try to shoot from the back with the long extension, and this dipstick tube gets in the way, so maybe you might want to just pull it completely out. I don't like to have them try and put them back in. Anyway, what I'm going to try and do is get a shorter socket in on these, and as far as getting them down to torque, let me look that up for a second, see what that is. Well, I was able to get my dipstick tube lined up. Got the transmission bolt in right there, and then the 13 millimeter nut on top of it. The bolt is 15, and it's 37 foot-pounds, and I just guesstimated at it with a long wrench. Anyway, that little puppy's in there. The one below it is a real pain in the butt to get to because all the lines and everything in the way, but I'm gonna get it. Just ain't there yet. Run out of energy today. I gotta go eat something. But anyway, I've got some bolts in the other transmission. The only one's down to torque, and they're supposed to do an alternating torque. Alternating torque, 37 foot-pounds, side to side. So I'm saying this one is 37 foot-pounds. I'm almost positive it's at that. I've been pulling on wrenches since I was 16 years old, and 37 foot-pounds ain't all that great, but it ain't all that easy either. So it's a lot easier than 40, 45, I don't know. Anyway, I got the dipstick pushed down. You can see it down there. It's nice, flush, slid right down in there. Of course, a little lubricant on the edges with it helped, and it's behind where it's supposed to be. All the bolts are in on this side, except they're not down to torque, except for, like I said, the top one there. So I'm going to continue alternating back and forth. I'm going to put the bolts down to torque. Like I said, got all my bolts in. Not all of them, I just don't have the top ones in yet. Most of the side and the bottom are there. They're just not down to torque. And I gotta do a few things, make my lines, check to make sure they're not pinched anywhere underneath the engine block, down underneath there. But until now, until the next video, I'm very tired. This is Steve AZ711, Can They Drive Garage. Bye for now.